Assalamu alaikum, Eid Mubarak, and welcome to Witness. But I feel like saying welcome back to Witness because this is a continuation of a program that we started on the first day of Eid yesterday. And so today it's the second program, but we were having so much fun in the first program that we figured we'd continue this for the second day of Eid as well. So if you missed the first day, I'm sure you're going to regret it, but here's your chance to catch up with what we were talking about. And on the day of Eid, as I promised you, I can't get away from politics, but on Eid I didn't want to talk about boring and depressing things like politics, so I decided that we were going to talk about style, fashion, icons, celebrities and politics. So that has to become part of it as well, and obviously when I have to talk about these issues about which I know nothing at all, I have to call in the experts. And so my experts today, I'll introduce them for those of you who did not see this program yesterday. My first guest is Tariq Amin, and he is Pakistan's style guru. And my second guest, Atiya Khan. Those of you who were really into fashion will remember her as one of Pakistan's first supermodels. Now she is a TV producer and she knows more about fashion and style than most other people. Thank you so much for having joined me here today, Tariq, and thank you both for agreeing to stay on and do this program even though it's Eid, and I know you guys want to get back to your families, but we were having so much fun, weren't we, Tariq, yesterday?
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
I'm so glad. But you know, there were so many things that we wanted to talk about yesterday that we didn't get a chance to, so we're going to carry on, and so we can let people catch up on what we were talking about. But now one of the things that we touched on, Atiya, I'll start with you this time, because you had mentioned that some of your icons were Begum Rana Liaquat Ali and Fatma Jinnah. Now, one of the things that when we look at those women, we also see them in these photographs, so they were very elegant and graceful. Do you think that television, which is now so in your face, it's live, and politicians just don't have that ability to have that such remoteness that you could possibly have had in the 40s, 50s and 60s?
I don't know. I think mystery can still be created. I don't think it has anything to do with remoteness. I mean, take the Queen of England, for instance. I mean, you know, she's in this era, but she still maintains that kind of mystery and remoteness because it's part of her job to do that, you know. So media is a tool. It can be used. It can be, you know, it can be manipulated to your advantage if you choose to do so. But I think that those women were inherently mysterious, inherently, you know, stylish, and inherently had a lot of presence. And
that still comes through. You look at these sepia colored photographs and they still have that charisma.
No, it's also a very classic mold that they adhered to. There was no experimentation, there was nothing funky, there was nothing, you know, there was no bling, there was no there was none of that because it wasn't there.
Yeah.
You know, so, and when I keep mentioning style and saying understated, I think that speaks volumes because these women were very understated. They were very, I mean, for their times, they were very out there, but, you know, they were still very, very understated. They wore ghararas, they wore saris, they wore, you know, very, very
graceful clothes.
Nobody was wearing a miniskirt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But today,
I think the miniskirt has got to be the most ungraceful outfit ever.
Not if you have nice legs.
I don't know about that. Even the nicest legs, it just doesn't look very comfortable. But
oh, well, from a man's perspective, I have to disagree with you.
we'll let you have that right.
I think that if you turn around and see what media has done, is it's really confused a lot of us. Before you never had the 10,000 choices. Today you have so many choices. It's not just one, look.
No, but it's also like in the past, it was very selective. The people who were in power, the people who were, public figures, came first from a certain background. Not anybody could just get up overnight, become a political figure or a celebrity or rich and famous. It had to come down through generations. There was something you inherited. There was a whole background that came with it. Now today, it's like through whatever means, you can overnight, go from nothing to, holding a position which maybe you're not really prepared for.
That's true. We have seen that over and over again. But there is something to be said also for coming up from the ranks. I mean, a lot of people start out, I keep going back to the political reference, but let's also talk about cricketers or actresses. Don't we all just love that story? I'm told it's not true, but the Marilyn Monroe story that she was having a soda pop in some restaurant in some obscure town in America, and she was scouted and found. I'm told later that was completely fake, that she was groomed to become Marilyn Monroe.
Of course she was. You know, most of the I mean, you know, for my job is to do a little shine and polish, you know, take the raw material and then just, you know, make a star shine.
Yeah.
You can make someone look really beautiful in
Sure,
a picture,
but that's what I'm
as
saying.
soon as they open their mouth,
yeah, there you go.
Yeah. It's
So
all
it
over.
had to do a lot with everything, you know, not only your I mean, today, if you know, 90% of everybody, you know, they don't need to go see the world. They just need to go to the Dubai, and the world is there.
I know.
So once they've done that, you know, even they've like
But that's, yeah, but
वो
that's
भी
all
वो भी
very
tours से
different.
होके आए, you know,
Yes,
the
yes.
foreign के tours से होके आए. So they also feel that, you know, today if you before you needed the family background and all that, you know, old world
Yeah.
stuff that goes with it. Today, I mean, if you know, to look good, you needed all that
Yeah.
behind you.
Right.
Today, you know,
but it doesn't cut it, Tariq.
I know it doesn't, because it doesn't have an endearing, lasting quality to it. You know, you're a very
No,
fly-by-night
because
operation.
the whole thing of,
Yeah.
you know, shodapan, or, you know, those are very real issues that we're dealing with today, because if you don't have the values that go with that position, you
But
know...
then you're really vesting power in the hands of an elite.
Well, elite, now we're still vesting power in the hands of an elite, but it's an elite with no moral values, no background, no education. It's just because you have power and money that you are part of the elite. In the
Right.
past, it wasn't about power and money, it was about, you know,
Khandan.
The
Khandan
family,
and education and values and morals and
No,
reputation
actually,
and standing for something, you know, standing up for something, not compromising your morals, not being caught being corrupt, or you know, those things mattered. Now that none of that matters anymore. You can be as corrupt as, you know, the more corrupt the better.
Yeah, the more money you have for campaigning for your next election, I suppose.
You know, it doesn't
But
make
I'm not going to let you guys drift away into politics. I want to bring you back to
Yes,
what I
yes.
brought you guys here for, which is
Fashion.
fashion icons and politics and all this kind of stuff. Now, again, yesterday we talked about celebrities and icons, and we were racking our brains trying to think of iconic figures in Pakistan's existing framework. And that's kind of tough, isn't it? Because as Atiya pointed out yesterday as well, we shoot down our icons. We don't let them come forward.
For example, I mean, you know, we were discussing this during the short break that, you know, for me to see an Indian film actress and an Indian film actor on a billboard in Pakistan, it kills me. It makes
Yeah.
my blood boil. You know, do we have Pakistani, you know, is Ali Zafar on a billboard in
Mumbai?
in
No.
Mumbai? No, you know, because we don't, you had even mentioned that, you know, we don't project our own people.
Yeah.
You know.
And we have some of the most beautiful women
Def-
and handsome men
I mean,
in the world.
Definitely.
Here.
I mean, in my...
Yeah, but not in our
my-
film industry, unfortunately.
Not in our film industry. That's
I mean,
celebrity
hello,
status
let's
is
get
not there.
realistic here.
No, well, we do... We,
I
It
mean,
is
the
realism.
people,
Actually, let's talk about
you
this.
know,
Who
I
are
mean,
celebrities?
The point is that are educated people from good families coming into this profession? Very few. You know, by and large, it's...
well, it's all, you know, there's a serious lack of professionalism in the country when it comes to all of this. You know, half the people that are dictating what we should look like are, you know, are people who have never been to college.
Yeah.
It's
You know,
tragic. It's very tragic, especially
if
for
you take a
people
look
like
at
me
media or take a look
and
at
Tariq.
a
I mean, I think
magazine.
for us, you know, I mean, I think it's really painful and it's really tragic because we tried 20 years ago, you know, to break this kind of stereo, go against our family and the society and norm and come into these fields, you know, and try and sort of do it in an intelligent way and make people question and think, and, you know, and rather than things getting better and rather than things improving from there, it's just gone downhill.
It's gone downhill. But now let me ask you one very tough question here. In most countries of the world, the best known celebrities are actors, actresses, singers, performers, the performing arts, if I want to put it this way, whether you're a rock star or whatever. In Pakistan, scary enough, are celebrities or well-known people. Who are they, Tariq?
No, because हमारे यहाँ तो मरासी का concept है ना.
हाँ,
If you are in
that
this
is there.
field, you are a Marasi.
Right.
You are on the wrong side of the thing. And like I said, there are a few of us who tried to come in and break that stereotype, but we were absolutely unsuccessful. At the end of the day, today, when I sit and I look at our industry, I say, we were unsuccessful. We did not, absolutely, we did not manage to do it.
Who are our celebrities? Who in Pakistan, which profession?
Our politicians are our celebrities, our socialites are our celebrities, our maybe writers.
Lots of hosts on TV.
Anchors.
Isn't that bizarre? Yeah, TV anchors.
Not you. You're very feet on the ground.
Yes, but this is a strange thing though.
Morning show
anchors, or even the political anchors, they become the celebrities because people recognize them. But what does that say about the vacuum that we have in our society for actors, actresses, singers, dancers, as you're saying, the Marathi culture?
We're not, nobody's ever been, classic example, I know lots of very successful men and very successful women. You have a crore rupee car, you're driving a BMW 7 Series, you're wearing a Hugo Boss suit, you're wearing, Louis Vuitton shoes, and you have a 300 rupee haircut from the barber.
No, but listen, there's a reason for it. Hello, an Indian film actor
Let me talk.
12 crore,
Yeah,
and Shan, your top Pakistani actor, earns 3 lakhs. There's a huge difference.
No,
but are you saying that you skip on the wrong things, basically?
We skip absolutely on the wrong things. Yeah. You see, there's the media today, the print media, for example, is a slave to Lahore. Let's say the people from Lahore. There's a lot of politics in fashion.
I was just about to say there's politics in fashion.
Let's talk about the real thing. So there's a lot of politics in fashion.
Yeah.
Now, I have a piece of paper to prove that I can do what I do. 90% of my competition in this country is not even qualified.
They're not qualified. Yeah, they're not qualified.
They're not qualified to be doing what they're doing. Our designers, all the big ones, names we've grown up with and stuff, even they are getting a run for their money because today there are schools in Pakistan that are teaching kids how to cut fabric, how to drape, how to dress people. It's not by learning through trial and error.
Right.
The auntie with the 2 tailors in her garage, she's like, "Kharab ho gaya kapda." कोई बात नहीं है फेंक दो दूसरा जोड़ा बना so it's not a trial and error. So they're giving these kids a run for their money, but unfortunately it's not this is what our society wants. They don't care as long as the outer layer screams something to you. We are not concerned. I know so many people that have a off-white living room, and if you go into their bedroom, you die. Like it's just no.
Yeah, the concept of just decorating the living room and and everything else is
a sham. The kitchen is like
everything is a front.
You know what I'm saying? So we are very much a society that's into that dikhawa of look, I spend money on myself. You go to a place for a service, for example. You're treated as one of the jing bang lot. There's nothing exclusive. There's nothing, whether it be a garment, whether it be a service, until you don't have, the standard raised, and you don't have the professionalism brought into all of this. There are people that are, claiming to be, half the people on television, I think to be on television, to be a newscaster, for example, you have to have a really nice voice. Azhar Lodi, PTV, great
amazing
voice. Khushbakht Shajat, PT, great voice. You wanted to listen to Shaista Zayed, and you wanted to listen to these people who were articulate, eloquent, had a command of whether it was Urdu or... Today, I'm like, who are you doing to get this job?
I know, it's so scary.
There's a little thing...
It's catching. A lot of catching up needs to happen in the TV industry. But one thought that's racing through my mind. I'm going to completely switch gears here and come to this. But yesterday we talked about style and fashion, and I just loved what you said yesterday that instead of using a bag or carrying a bag, the bag carries a person. Because the bag becomes a statement and not the
We
person.
have lots of bag ladies running.
Lot of bag ladies running around in Pakistan, really. And shoes. She got shoes. I used to be really pathetic. I used to own 5 pairs of shoes, and I would wear them until they wore out, and they would all be the same design. I'd pick a design and buy them in 5 colors. Now, unfortunately, I have way too many shoes, so consumerism is catching up to me as well. But do you need to be rich to be stylish?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at
Absolutely
all.
not. In fact, that's some of the most tackiest people are the
really
rich,
yeah.
the
The really
rich.
rich.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you don't have a lot of money, then what should you really invest in?
Basics, classic, basic.
I think,
Well-
like I said, fashion is for 18-year-old emaciated people. Do you know what I'm saying? It's for
Yes.
an 18-year-old emaciated person.
Yeah.
99% of us are not that. I think trying to find your individuality is something that we don't look for. We're a very clique-oriented society. She's like, oh, इसमें suit कर रहा है तो it'll look good on me as well.
Yeah, you
That's
don't
why
look at your own body
That's
shape
why
or
we
you
don't
don't
have
get-
individuals when we
We
go
have
to a wedding.
clones.
We have clones of one another. Everybody has the same
Same
color hair,
hairstyle,
same color hair length,
same jora, same designer.
And I'm sorry, all the designers.
bag.
Today there was a time where I could tell this is Rizwan,
So designer,
But
big or whatever.
this is Maheen.
Yeah,
This is,
but again, I'd like to say that we are talking about a very small segment of our society.
I think.
Okay.
Look,
Everybody wants to be fashionable.
But I'll tell you one thing. I think as a nation, we are a very fashionable nation.
Oh, yes,
you
we are.
compare ourselves to India,
No, we're very-
and you look at the women, the middle class, lower middle class, college, ye wo. We are a fashionable nation.
we're very much more
we
aware.
Are, we are
We're
a
much more
beautiful
aware.
nation. I mean, even someone who's poor or has to live within a budget, is conscious कि भाई जब वो कुर्ते छोटे होते हैं तो सबके
Yeah,
कुर्ते छोटे
everybody
जाते
gets
हैं
short
जब वो
kameezas
लंबे होते हैं
No,
तो
but
सब
I'm all for a short kurta.
I mean, you look, you compare just visually our girls to the girls in India, and there's a huge difference.
Yes, there is. I
Huge
noticed that.
difference.
It's time
and
for
they
you
have
to-
more exposure, and they have all the other,
Sure they do.
stuff going for them. But somehow we're a very style-conscious nation.
Now, I'm going to take a short break over here, but when we return, we're going to talk about this one thing. There's this amazing lady in Islam, but I absolutely adore her, and if she's watching this, Paplapa, this is you. She wears these long, flowing kameezas. She's this incredibly graceful, elegant lady, and she's always dressed like that. And she says, I like these clothes, I've worn them all my life, and I'm going to. And that's my philosophy. I've picked a length of kameezas, I'm sticking with it. I don't care where hemlines go. So, is that really the right thing to be doing? Well, Tariq is going to be telling me, but after this, stay with us. And welcome back to Witness. Eid Mubarak to you if you're just joining us. And of course, this is part 2 of a discussion we were having yesterday, which is all about fashion, style, icons, celebrities, and of course, politics. We can't get away from that. But before the break, we were having this fashion statement, and I said, I've picked a hemline and I'm going to stick with it. And we talked about a lady called Papu who lives here in Islamabad. We all call her Papu Appa. But she's an icon. She's an icon.
Absolutely.
Amazingly beautiful woman, right?
Absolutely.
She wears that lovely, graceful style kameeza. She says she's picked a length and she's sticking with it. That's my
Well,
philosophy.
usually that is what style is, where you take something that works for you and you maintain it.
Maintain.
And you're not like a yo-yo and you keep trying different things.
Yeah.
Everybody can't. You need to find what works for you as an individual.
And your body image, and if you're
Absolutely.
fat
Absolutely.
like me, I mean, I can't run around in little kameezas. I look like an idiot when the fashion was there. I wouldn't wear them.
So you've got. Style is also. It's a way of expressing who you are.
Yeah.
I think it says a lot about you. When you wear a certain color, when you
Yeah.
wear a certain. So it says a lot
certain
about you as an individual. So I think a lot of we were talking about earlier. A lot of we are very cliquish. Again, if it's
A slave to fashion or whatever. Yeah,
So
you
instead
can't
of
do that.
Copying everybody, and we're
But-
great copyists.
We are great copyists.
We can do.
But there are
we can
two things.
copy
There's
the
another
jewelry,
thing.
We can copy the house. We can copy the jewelry. We can copy the nose. We can copy the makeup.
We're going to talk about plastic surgery as well, but now there's one thing you mentioned. I, for example, love old things. I've got all my parents' stuff. The statues, the paintings, the works. Even this thing, I have to tell viewers. This belonged to my grandmother, and this is my most treasured piece. I love it because it is not just beautiful, but it's old.
And it has a sentimental
And it
value.
has a sentimental value, and it
Absolutely.
has a story. I mean, I have a pair of gold earrings that I just love because I know my father bought them for my mother with his first civilian paycheck. Now that earring will always be special. But now in Pakistan, women take old jewelry, especially what they get from their mothers-in-law, and they melt it. And they take the gold and they make new stuff. I think that's a crime. That should be a crime.
It is a crime. Because things like that, like, I mean, it's not, you don't, I mean, it's a dying, people, you can't have it, yes, you can't get it made any longer. So, you know, I'm all for the, you know, old, traditional, I'm very old-fashioned.
You are traditionalist, actually. I've seen the brides you do. I'm
extremely traditionalist at heart, you know. I guess it's that old school thing, and I'd rather be that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I can't, I mean, all the bridals today with, you know, there's one, the pressure of the one diamond set, and I mean, it's, you know, everybody...
Unless that diamond set is 200 years old, don't talk to me about it. That's my philosophy.
You know,
it's probably 200 years
old.
Well,
look, I mean, the modern things can be very, you know, very stylish and very attractive as well.
Sure.
As far as clothes are concerned, I think, yes, stick to a style that works for you. But it's also, you know, be appropriate for the occasion.
Yes.
And not every occasion you can't pass off one style for every occasion.
Yeah.
So, you know, you have to blend in to whichever place you're going to be in.
Yeah.
You know, when you're at work, when you're socializing, So understand the different nuances of different occasions. Also, don't mix styles. I think what really kind of becomes ugly is, you know, you see homes or you see people, they're not doing justice to any one style. They're not, you know, so they're trying to mix the modern with the old with the... Sometimes it works, but you have to be very, very clever to be able to pull it off. Otherwise, stick to what works with the look that you're trying to create. Be, you know, be consistent in that look.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people do very inappropriate things as well. When you're saying, like, dress for the occasion and stuff. I mean, I've seen people come with full makeup, capri pants, you know, big bag to a funeral.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh, that's insane. I mean,
not
that
on.
Be,
you know, and you go to, you know, it's like...
Well, that's like also turning up in jeans or a lawn, gisava lawn, you know, rotten lawn kameez to a wedding.
Yeah.
That's insulting to your host. You don't want to do that either.
So, you know, you must be appropriately dressed for the occasion. And instead of trying to see what is, you know, I have to narrate the story. I mean, it's just too funny for words. It's a bit of a story, but I mean, I'm going to try and make it as concise as possible. The Lawn Wars. There was a lunch being thrown to see out of this committee. Is it called the committee?
Yes, the committees. You know the committees.
Who is going to get the first joda stitched and wear it to the lunch?
Oh my God.
And the lunch was being held at one of the restaurants, and I had gone to the restaurant to pick up a takeaway. I was going to a meeting with Amar, and I was taking lunch with me. And these women were outside the shop at 3 o'clock in the morning, waiting with their drivers.
3 o'clock in the morning?
In the morning.
Oh my God.
Because this was the next day. They were 12 of them. They all wore the same outfit for lunch. I mean, I thought it was the same bag, the same outfit, the same blow dry.
So what's the difference between them and George Lucas's Stormtroopers and Star Wars?
The host lady walked in with her Filipina maid, and the Filipina maid was wearing the same jora.
That was to prove a point.
That was to prove a point, but you know what kind of a... Two of the women got really upset.
You see the problem, I think...
said 4-letter words to her and walked out.
Oh my God.
And she turned around and said, "Dekha na, maine kaha tha ki ye log, they're not like us, they're not like you guys."
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I was just sitting there, I was like, you have to have been here.
You had to be
I was just like, I tried to pinch myself, and so, you know, is it really that important? You know, fashion is meant to be fun, you guys. Listen, please, let's be real.
Okay,
fashion is meant to be fun. We take it all so seriously.
It's not. I think that you have to go into the psychology behind it. Okay, and I think the basic problem is that these women have no identity. Okay, their identity comes from who they're married to, or who their father is, or what they can show. Exactly.
Men do that too. I mean, it's not with the clothes, and they're doing it with their Land
But if
Cruisers and
someone,
their...
exactly, but if someone has
And their bad
a
haircuts.
And the bad
self-identity,
haircuts.
if someone has something to show for their life, if they have an achievement, if they are excel at something, then they don't need those props because they are confident in who they are. It's only those people who don't have that confidence, who haven't achieved anything other than what they think they can impress people with.
Yeah. Well, you know, now, for example, I'll tell you what really impresses me when I go to somebody's home and the host and hostess have a beautifully laid out table with lovely china, lovely crystal, and they make an effort. It's not the expense value, it's the elegance of a presentation.
Aesthetics.
You know, I think
And that impresses me.
The
Somebody
love,
makes the
the
effort.
warmth, the
Yeah.
aesthetics.
And the effort that someone makes when you're inviting someone to
like
your
I
home.
said, style is something
Style.
that you're born with. You can learn how to dress the table. You can learn how to put the right candle and the right
And what do you mean? It's
cutlery
not,
and
it's
the
not
right
born with. I
crockery.
mean, you know,
Yeah.
it's,
No, but
it's
there's
in
a
your
certain-
blood. It's in
there's a
your
certain
blood.
way-
What
well,
do you
because
mean?
it's-
What do you mean by born with?
Well, it's the
the
aesthetics
two
you inherit
things,
from your
exactly.
parents, from
So
your
it's in
home.
your blood. It's in your genetic pool, and it's in what you see since childhood. How did your mother dress? How did she lay the table? How did your aunt lay the table? What
But
did
surely
your
people
grandmother
can learn
do?
this. People are watching my show right
But
now
that's-
going,
It takes
"How do you learn this?"
generations.
It takes a long
It takes
time.
generations. It's not something that can just be
And you
picked
can,
up.
you can go to finishing school and be so unfinished.
Unfinished.
after.
Well, you know, this is sort of interesting, but an American lady once told me how she was horrified when her prospective daughter-in-law, who was also an American, started putting her Wedgwood crockery into the dishwasher. And this American lady nearly fainted because this was like hand-painted Wedgwood. Which
Sure,
was like
but
100 years old.
that's very elitist, okay? And I don't mean that it has anything to do with money, okay? I've seen middle-class, poor people who come from very good families.
Of course.
Good families means, you know, they're educated, they have values.
My family is
they are-
broke, Atiya.
you
My
know,
family has been broke for
It has nothing
generations.
to do with money. It has got to do with what are the values? What do you hold as important? What is valuable to you?
And this brings me straight to my other point, which is, and a strong belief of mine, we don't value our heritage, our past. How then can we evolve as a nation, Tariq?
You know, I'll give you a good example. I have a collection of tapas. I love old block prints. Sitting on the floor, you know, with a tub of water once a month, you know, I take them all down and wash them because they get dust in the
Yeah.
week, you know. It's a very fidgety thing, and I don't let everybody else clean them. I like to clean them myself. And a certain somebody had come over and he was like, "Ye aap kya kar rahi hain?" So I was just like, you know, main thaape dho raha hu. So he's like, "Aapka ghar bilkul waise nahi hai jaise maine samjha tha." So I said, "You aap kya?
What were you expecting?
What were you expecting?" कि हर चीज ऑफ वाइट और गोल्डन होगी and I was like, I almost choked on my own saliva. मगर आपके घर में तो मिट्टी के बर्तन पड़े हैं और कुछ फैंसी नहीं दिख रहा. I was like, शुक्र है खुदा का, you know, like he had a
perception about what you were going to
you
be
know,
like.
like, you know, our home is a very, very personal reflection of anyone's home is a very personal. Like, for example, Atiya I love her home. She has this, she's got a great sense of this, everything is sort of, you know, it just works. It just works. It's just very neoclassical, sort of, there's some modern things, some old things. She knows how to make it work.
Make it work. Put it all
You know,
together.
my salon's space is very minimalistic, and I'm like not like that in my life at all. I love to.
You love clutter.
No, well, an organized kind
Organized clutter, okay.
Everything for me has to have a memory. You know, there's a certain time.
You see, that's the thing,
An association with
Associations.
it. Association. And a lot of other people don't have that thing to associate with. They don't have the memories. They don't have the. They have a, you know, very different. I mean, we were brought up in a very. I guess.
But you know, I think we're still
in a
lucky.
proper way.
No, but we're still
Yeah.
lucky in Pakistan. No matter how much we're complaining about this, we have still preserved and maintained a lot of the old crafts and.
Oh, I don't know. I think we are losing so
Sure
much.
we
more
are.
than we
Sure
are
we are. We
protecting.
need to preserve a lot
Yeah.
more.
Especially
But-
archaeology and stuff. I mean, I'm going way off topic here, but yeah, that's
Yeah, I mean, Lahore is pretty good in that.
Yeah, Lahore
that
is much
it
better.
kind of, you know, has a sort of the civil sense of trying to preserve the old buildings and stuff like that. Karachi, I mean, you know, okay, but you know, we have individuals who have dedicated their lives to preserving, certain craft and arts. And we're very lucky in the fact that it hasn't died out. Our craftsmen are still there, and we still have time to sponsor them, to encourage them to.
I think the government really needs to do something.
The government needs to do something.
Look, the government. I mean, I think the point is, forget about the government. I mean, the government, the way it stands today. I mean, you're really optimistic if you think that they are interested in doing anything besides their own personal agendas. I'm sorry, but it's true. But you know,
it's a free country.
No, but the point is that there are patrons of art everywhere in the world that and we have them in our country as well.
Sure.
And it just obviously needs
a lot more. Welcome back to this special edition of Witness. Eid Mubarak to all of you. We are in our last segment of the program, but Tariq, now here's the thing. Everybody I know is considering plastic surgery or some form of the other, and if not that, they'd want non-invasive surgery like Botox or whatever. Good idea, bad idea?
I'm all for, whatever turns you on. I think, plastic surgery is something that it has, over the years, developed into such a fine craft. It's, now a nose job is it's as easy as going and buying a new car or buying a new bag or a new shoe.
Okay.
You can go look at a nose and say, I want that. But
nose,
again, that nose is good for that person. You have to be a bit realistic when it comes. But I mean, so many people are going, everybody I know, sorry guys and girls, everybody is, opting out for, I don't know if it's midlife crisis.
Yeah.
She hasn't been under the knife, and I really hope she doesn't do it.
She doesn't need to.
I haven't done anything. Everybody thinks that I have, but, if I had done something, I'd have had hair put on my head, not have some, But most of the people you're talking to are like, close up, please. Take me a close up. Are we close up?
You're close up, yes, that's the expression. That's the Botox
Hello,
look.
Quatrina. How are you? I mean, it's like, are you a ventriloquist? I mean, like, what is...
Because what's happening?
I think the voice is coming, but there's nothing moving on. I mean, everybody is like this, like this, as if they're walking...
But that's being caused by Botox, right? That Botox is this thing you
basically
kind of...
freezes your expression. That's what you're doing.
It freezes your expression,
yeah.
so you can't
it's
bag up
frozen.
your eyebrows.
I like my wrinkles and a little bit of, wisdom showing up on the...
And what's unfortunate is that
but one doesn't want to lose facial expressions. I mean, I would be lost if my eyebrow couldn't move up and down.
It is really scary. And what's really sad is I've seen some really beautiful women, who are looking scary now. Because beauty is all about proportion.
No, because
beauty is about proportion.
Yes.
Okay? And when that proportion goes off even a little bit, it changes your whole look. You just don't have that perfection anymore. I mean, yes, if you have a really obviously bad nose, or I've seen some
or if
women.
someone needs it after an accident, or
Exactly.
like that. That's totally different. We're not talking about that.
A 14-year-old girl does't need it, and a lot of surgery is happening on young girls while they're still growing.
That's insane.
I mean, you're still growing till you're 19.
And where does it
19.
stop? You know what I mean? I mean, because it's become. I have a friend who's a surgeon, and she's saying it's like a disease.
Yeah.
These women don't know when to stop. It's like, okay, get this done, and then get that done, and then it goes on and on because you're never happy. And for me, it's like some of the most beautiful women that I've seen who are aging beautifully are doing other stuff like meditation, yoga. They're happy human beings, and it reflects in their it's like, I think the most beautiful thing is nur, is this energy.
Atiya, there are a lot of my viewers right now who are sitting there watching this program and saying that's very easy for Atiya to say. She's a supermodel. She's beautiful. She doesn't need to worry about these things.
I mean, I was a supermodel at 21. I'm 43. I mean, it's got nothing to do with supermodel or not supermodel.
That's true.
And it's like, and everyone is beautiful when they're young.
So how do we...
Why do some people age beautifully and some people become uglier and uglier and uglier as they age? I think a lot of who you are inside starts reflecting on the outside.
Portrait of Dorian Gray.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
The portrait of
Your
Dorian Gray.
expressions.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
You are who you are inside.
Right.
I mean, if you're a horrible person inside, it will show on your face.
It will show on your face eventually.
If you're a good person, it will show it on your face. And I believe that. But you can be sort of cosmetic about it. You can be really horrible inside and look beautiful on the outside.
Yeah.
Not for very long, Tariq.
No, I mean, yes.
Not
like I
for
said,
very long.
not forever. But again, it's like a catch-22 kind of a situation. damned if you do it and damned if you don't.
Now, because we're on the subject of surgery, I'm going to run out of time, so I want to pop this in. I know people are having something done to their stomachs. They have their stomach banded or tied up or something, so they lose weight. I think that sounds horribly dangerous. But what's the deal with that?
It's totally not. I mean, it's really, really. That's the last resort
to losing weight.
I lost 100 pounds about 8 years ago. It took me 2 years to do. I won Best Male Model at the age of 40.
Oh, wow, congrats.
Hey, you can do it. Let's hit the gym together, you and
Oh,
me.
God, he's going to make me lose weight. I knew this was going to happen. I shouldn't even have gone into this subject.
See, with any short-term thing, when you want to lose weight, it'll all come back.
It'll come back. You can't yo-yo your weight around the place.
You really, really can't. And I think, cosmetic surgery for that kind of stuff is really, really like the last resort.
If somebody has a genetic problem of obesity or something, I can understand.
Sure, but
even then, but look,
all
physical it's not genetic. All physical issues are related to other things, and you have to really look at the underlying problems. I mean, why are you overeating? What is the stress? You know what I mean? When you start dealing with the deeper issues, the outside sort of kind of
inner beauty.
Don't forget we asked
Rachel Cosmo.
And again, yes.
We are trying to discuss the outer view.
No, but it's true.
That
The
is
outer
true.
is
I
a
agree with
reflection
you.
of the inner. And the
agree.
way to tackle the outer is through the inner.
You can if you're not motivated to lose weight, for example,
Exactly.
then you're not going to do it. You may do it
my
for a
daughter
short
was
time.
born, and that was the biggest unmotivator, because I'd rather spend that hour with her than go to the gym. And it was 5 pounds a year, and I've got no problem being.
And but there's some people who don't need to go to the gym. They just think thin, and they are thin.
I hate people who think thin and are thin. That doesn't work. How does that work?
It does work.
How does it work?
Because the mind is the most powerful instrument that
Have
you
you
can
seen a movie
imagine.
called Limitless?
No, I haven't.
You have to watch this movie.
Because it's the mind that's giving the body signals. It's not what you're eating, it's not what you're doing, it's your mind giving your body signals, and that's how it's working. So if you are able to train your mind...
Springs right now, they're throwing things at you.
But the most difficult thing to control is your mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the day you can do that... The
Yeah,
day
I
you
think-
can do that, and that's where you should be putting your time and energy, is where everything is possible.
I think it's all positivity also. I think if you're a positive person, you can make anything work for you, whether it be fashion, whether it be style. You need to have that positivity in
And
you as an individual.
We're getting into our last minute, and here's one thing I want to say to you, Tariq. This is something I've never confessed to you before, but I first came to you for a haircut in 1988. And I was totally...
When I had hair.
You had hair. And I was totally intimidated. I was totally intimidated
a lot of
by
people
you.
are
Fashion can
intimidated
be
by him.
intimidating.
It can be.
No, Tariq Amin can be intimidating, okay? And he's always, has the
At
capacity
6'1" and 200 pounds, what do you expect me to be like a...
he is the best person in the business, okay? But because he overpowers and dominates and intimidates people, a lot of people are scared to work with him.
Okay, no, but apart from just that,
it's also because
fashion can be, you need confidence to carry on.
Oh, yeah. I
How do
think
you get that?
it's not the afraidness. I think they just can't deal with the honesty that I tend to, be very generous with.
I was just scared of you.
If someone is a dog, I will say bow wow to them.
Oh, no, Tariq.
But it's constructive, because he'll say, okay, you look like a dog right now, but if you do this,
if we got you the right color,
you look like a doggy.
that shampoo,
You look like a poodle.
Pedigree dog.
Yeah, a poodle.
Seriously, confidence is a big part of it, isn't it? Confidence
is
style.
everything. I think
Confidence is everything.
Barbara Streisand. I mean, she's an ugly woman.
Definitely.
But she looked
But she turns that ugliness into her
that's
persona.
what I call a quirkiness in beauty.
Yeah.
But it's just because of her confidence that she carried it off.
Yeah.
If she was just sitting in the corner thinking,
Okay,
such a big nose.
I'm running out of time, but really quickly, who's the most beautiful woman in the world?
Monica Bellucci.
Okay.
Oh, God, the most beautiful woman in the world. Today, I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
I think there's lots of women that I think are very,
and
very
men.
beautiful.
Who's the most good-looking man in the world?
God, good question. Jeremy Irons, until I just saw this new. I thought he was just. I like a strong face, especially with character.
Yeah.
Like pretty. Brad Pitt is not good looking to me.
Oh, I'm heartbroken.
You know, I mean, yes,
Into the
like
vampire.
when
Yeah,
I was
but you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
it's
pretty boy looks don't last.
Yeah, I think you need to be very masculine, very manly.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, my all-time best-looking man when
Sean
he was
Connery.
young. Sean Connery. Sean Connery.
That's
Clint
the man.
Eastwood when in Where Eagles Dare.
Yeah.
The old movie.
man,
Yeah.
man.
Atiya,
Yeah,
who's
well, I
yours
don't know. I
before
mean,
Rabbit Fun?
I just want to say that, you know, when I was younger, looks mattered.
Looks matter.
You know? But today, I mean, I see good-looking men and I think, ugh. And it's got nothing, and I realize for men especially, it has nothing to do with looks. It's got to do with charisma, it's got to do with confidence, it's got to do with charm, it's got to do with what you've achieved.
Right.
It's got to do with who you are. So for me, looks for men
Yeah.
has no significance.
Yeah, it's a package, really. That's what we've said all along. It's got to be your package.
Absolutely. I think
How you carry yourself.
How you carry yourself, your voice, your confidence, the way you walk,
Who
the way
you
hold
are,
yourself,
what
everything.
you stand for.
Yeah,
That's it.
You know, I think we're out of time. I'm getting shouted at because I'm being told we're out of time, but I've had such a wonderful time with both of you. My
Thank you
Eid
so
has been
much.
special because I've been able to spend it with the two of you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Tariq and Atiya, for joining me here on Witnesses Eid Special. And